At the edge of Europe, between east and west, lie the Balkans. The term is Turkish for mountains. Since 1991, a bloody war has raged in the Western Balkans, in a country which used to be called Yugoslavia. The carnage is shocking, the human suffering great. Not since World War II has Europe seen a shooting war within its borders or heard the chilling term ethnic cleansing. The New World Order may be upon us, but what does it mean for the tragic breakup in the Balkans? Groups of Slavic peoples make up the majority of the former Republic of Yugoslavia: Croats, Serbs, and Muslims. Its diversity originates from its history.
The Balkans is on a major migration route between the Middle East and Europe. And it's where the histories of the Middle East and Europe all thread together.
Robert Kaplan is a well-traveled journalist and author of Balkan Ghosts.
It was always dominated by a major outside imperial power, be it Austro-Hungary, Ottoman Turkey, Tsarist Russia, or the Soviet Union.
Balkan Slavs also fought against these empires for their own independence. Sometimes the rest of the world ignored these struggles. Sometimes it was drawn into them. In 1914, Gavrilo Princip assassinated the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire in Sarajevo. It was a shot fired for Serbian independence, but it rang around the world. And the world went to war. After World War I, Yugoslavia appeared on the map for the first time.
It was made into a unified state as a quick, easy solution to satisfy the victors of World War I. Because the upshot of World War I was that two empires collapsed. So with two empires gone, states had to come about. And it seemed logical at the time to put all the Slavic peoples in the western half of the Balkans into one state. Because they weren't Hungarian, they weren't Romanian, who are Latin, they weren't Greeks to the south, nor were they Albanians.
Germany quickly defeated Yugoslavia in World War II and established a puppet government under the Ustashi, a nationalist Croatian group. The country disintegrated.
The Germans were unable to hold the area.
Janusz Bugajski is the Associate Director of Eastern European Affairs at the Center for Strategic and International Studies.
You basically had three different sides. There was a Yugoslav civil war between the Croatian fascists, the Serb nationalists, and the multi-ethnic communist forces of Marshal Tito.
Over 1.5 million Yugoslavs died in World War II, the majority at the hands of other Yugoslavs. In 1945, Yugoslavia was reunited under the leadership of Marshal Joseph Tito. Despite deep divisions left over from the war, Tito managed to hold the country together for the next 35 years. He did so by dividing Yugoslavia into 6 republics and 2 provinces. The republic's boundaries were drawn to dilute Serbian political power, not along population lines. Tito, a communist, also broke with Stalin in 1948. This independence led to Western economic and military aid. In fact, Yugoslavia was the only communist country ever to receive U.S. military aid during the Cold War. At the time of Tito's death in 1980, Yugoslavia was one of the wealthiest and most open communist countries. 10 years after Tito's death, however, Yugoslavia disintegrated once again. Some analysts see the current war as a continuation of the historic regional turmoil.
What we're seeing now is the effect of historical process. The war ended, communism came, everything went into a freeze-frame state, then communism collapsed, and after 45 years we are now in part 2 of that same civil war, where the Serbs have come in for their revenge. It's almost as if the 45 years of Titoist communism are like halftime at a football match.
Others point to the so-called ethnic or religious differences among the Orthodox Christian Serbs, the Roman Catholic Croats, and the Slavic Muslims. Janusz Bugajski believes, however, that the hatreds which fueled the ferocity of the current war were deliberately manufactured.
It didn't start up spontaneously because of age-old hatreds. That sort of assumes there's some inevitability in the conflict. It's shrewd politicians, it's media outlets that have manipulated public fears at this very unstable transition period after the fall of communism in order to generate what has become an ethnic war.
Daniel Plesch is the executive director of the British American Security Information Council.
There's an old saying from my history books which goes, I defy you to turn a fat man into an agitator, which goes to say that if people are well-fed and prosperous, it's much more difficult to get social conflict going than if people are in very poor social circumstances.